everybody. Today is April 4th, 2013. I'm going to apologize in advance because this is going to be a pretty long video. I've had a lot going on the past couple days. I had a doctor's appointment on April 2nd, and it wasn't supposed to be this huge deal. It was supposed to just be me and James going to see the fertility doctor, and he was supposed to get another sperm analysis done, or semen analysis, sorry, and I was just supposed to talk to the doctor about some medication to try to get me to start my period. Well, 2 days, I know that in my last videos, I had been talking about how bad I was cramping, because I've been cramping for forever now, and I just assumed my period was just, it was around the corner. So, the day before I went to my doctor's office, I actually was in a lot of pain. Like, I don't know if any of you have PCOS, but like cyst pain. So I was really concerned that I had another cyst. Well, the day of my appointment, I went to the doctor's, and I was in a lot of pain when I got there. And it was really early in the morning. It was like 8:30 in the morning, my appointment was. And I was in so much pain. I swear, I was almost in tears. So the doctor's talking to me, and basically, I probably really could not tell you anything the doctor said to me, because I was concentrating on trying not to bawl in front of the doctor. So anyways, he noted, or he says, I know that he was talking to me about James's, his first semen analysis results. And he was telling me basically that there was no point in me trying to do IUI with his sperm, because you need millions of sperm to do that, and James didn't have millions. So he told me I would just be throwing my money away. And I think that's the only thing I remember him talking about. Yeah, I don't remember anything else. The rest, I know he had asked me if I, what was wrong, and I told him I was just in a lot of pain, and I thought maybe I had a cyst. Well, this poor doctor, he asked me if I want to have an ultrasound done, and I said, well, sure, it can't hurt. It'll explain why I'm in so much pain. I'm sure it's just a cyst. So he gets me in the office, and this whole time I'm thinking James is still in the office, doing his thing, and he's not there. So I'm alone in this room by myself, and I wasn't worried, so I can't say that I was scared to death and he wasn't there for me. No, I wasn't worried. It was a cyst. I knew it was. I know the pain. So he gets me back in this office, and he starts looking at the screen, and I can't see anything because it's not one of those rooms that have a screen that you can see. It's just an itty bitty office, and there's his screen, and that's it. So he said, well, yeah, it looks like you have a large endometrioma. Ladies, I can tell you, I've had endometriosis for a year and a half to 2 years now. I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm like, what's that? And he said, well, it's an endometriosis cyst. Okay, what's that? And I literally, I repeated him. I said, an endometriosis cyst. And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, what is that? And he said, you've never heard And this whole time, let me tell you, this whole time he still got that probe up inside me. Sorry, I know that's kind of, but still, like, this whole time he's sitting here talking to me about this thing that I have no idea what it is while he's got that probe up in me, and it was weird. Anyways, so he starts to explain it, and he tells me basically I have a inside of my left ovary, not on my left ovary, inside of my left ovary, I have what they call on the internet, or I don't know what, maybe it's a slang word, I don't know. They call it a chocolate cyst. It is basically, I have endometriosis inside my left ovary, and it is bleeding into a pus or pocket, into a pocket. And it's just growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now it is the size of a tennis ball. So, needless to say, that is why I'm in so much pain. So after I get back, after I get dressed and everything, he comes back in and he says, this is quite common for someone with stage 4 endometriosis, and I'm a little surprised that you've never heard it before. I'm like, no, I've never even heard of it, let alone anybody tell me I have one. So, we sit down and we're talking, and he's like, well, I just want you to know that, you're going to have surgery. No. I've been through 3 surgeries. I'm not having any more surgeries. Now, I know in my first video I had mentioned, I'm sure I did because it was a ridiculously long video, but I was supposed to last year have a very invasive surgery. I don't know the name of the surgery, but they were going to cut me open from hip to hip, and they were going to have to do a bowel prep, and I was going to have to be admitted into the hospital, and they were going to take out my left ovary and fallopian tube, because it is literally adhered to my bowel. They can't get it apart. They tried to with a lap last year before they told me I was going to have this ridiculous surgery, and they couldn't get it without damaging the bowel. So I talked to a different doctor, and I decided I didn't want to do it. It wasn't life-threatening, and I, frankly, couldn't afford to be off work for 6 weeks. So, and I really didn't want to be cut open. My whole abdominal, I didn't want that to be cut open. So that, I'm going to be honest, that was the main thing. Anyway, so he's telling me that I'm going to have to go ahead and have the surgery done, because I'm in a lot of pain. You can tell, right? No, I'm on painkillers. But he is telling me that I'm going to have the surgery. I went home, and I actually made a video, and no, you haven't seen it because I did not post it. I was extremely upset. I was so beyond upset because, not because I was going to be losing my ovary. I already knew last year that they were going to take my ovary away from me. It's not good. It doesn't work. There's no way any kind of sperm could ever get up in it, because my tube and my bowel and my fallopian ovary are all, like, intertwined, and there's no way anything could function over there. So, I'm not upset about losing the ovary. That's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm concerned about is, or what I'm pissed off about, really, is I went through 6 months of hell being on Lupron, and all my hormones being ripped from my body, and in a medically induced menopause. That was awful. Oh my God, the horror, the hot flashes. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. It was so bad. So anyways, I went through 6 months of hell because I was promised that I was going to be at least 2 years of pain-free, but up to 5. And now endometriosis is back with vengeance, let me tell you. So I was pissed off because of that. And then I was scared because I'm terrified that it is going to start growing in my right ovary. It's the only one I got. Well, the only working one I have. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, this thing popped up overnight. Like, I was fine 3 days ago, and now I'm in excruciating pain, and they're talking about surgery. So I'm terrified. I am absolutely, positively terrified it's gonna show up in my right ovary, and then I'm screwed. I have no more ovaries left. I have no eggs. I have nothing. So after calling back and talking to the doctor again, I have probably talked to the doctor every single day since my appointment. Let me stop there for a second. Let me go back. James got his results back yesterday. His semen results. So I want to tell you guys this. It's not great news. Don't get too excited, but it is good news. Last time we got the results, James was you're supposed to have 20 million sperm per milliliter. James was 1 million, and they weren't working. They were spinning around and not going straight forward. This time, we're so excited, and I actually had a really good feeling about this when we were going in, and I even told him about it. This time, he has 7 million, which is quite a bit more. Yay, we're so excited about it, I'm not going to lie. There is a lot of what they call debris. And when the nurse told me this, I was like, really? What is that? And she said, her exact words were, it's junk. He has a lot of junk in his sperm. What? It was funny. I don't know. Anyways, it's not good news, but it was funny. Anyways, but it's 50%. 50% of his sperm has debris in it. And, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's not grade A quality sperm, but, it's way better news than what we got. They said out of the 7 million that he has, 6 million were good sperm. So, we are extremely excited about it. Well, we were. But, and they had told him when they called him about his analysis, which I said they called him, which they did, but basically all he could tell me out of the whole entire conversation was he has 7 million sperm. So of course I called them back, and they talked to me and told me exactly what the situation was. But they told him when they called that we could do IUI if we wanted to. I called them back today, and, I talked to, when I talked to her yesterday, after she explained James's results, I told her, I said, I don't want IUI. I want you to jump to IVF. I want you to tell me what I need to do today to get me started on IVF. I'm done waiting. Honestly, I'm done. Me and James have sat down and we have talked. And we're terrified if we wait. We're not gonna have a chance to do IVF later. So even with the chance of doing IUI, yes, it is probably 20 times cheaper, but at the same time, if we waste our time doing IUI and then 9 months later, because it's 3 months later, sorry, they do in 3 months intervals. What if I have another cyst in 3 months? We're done. We're done waiting. We're done dealing with the bad news and the bullshit. And we're not saying that we're going to get pregnant the first time we do IVF. We're not. But we basically have decided if we want this to happen, if we want to have a baby, we need to stop waiting stop sitting around waiting for things to happen and take action. Yeah, I sound like a superhero. Anyways, so I talked to the nurse today. There's a coordinator. I'm not exactly sure what her title is. But I talked to the coordinator today, and they did, thanks Ronnie, in vitro experiment, because they did prescribe me Provera. So hopefully, in 10 days I will have a period, because then after that I will be able to start my, hold on, let me think, SHG, or is it SGH? Sorry, I'm probably the second time I've ever heard this term. Basically, it's where they go check your uterus and put a catheter in there and make sure they can have room to do stuff and that your uterus is okay and stuff. I think it's SGH. I know it's either SGH or SHG. And if Ronnie watches this, she'll be able to correct me, because I know she's had it done 3 times now. So, anyways, the first day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the Provera tonight. I'm going to take it at night, just because I always get really sick when I take medication. I always get really sick to my stomach. So I find if I take it at night, it's better for me. Unless the bottle says otherwise, because to be completely honest with you, I really haven't even looked at the bottle. I picked it up when I got home from work today. So, anyways, I plan on taking it tonight when I go to sleep. And then 10 days, hopefully, I'm not going to have to sit around and wait like I did with the progesterone. My doctor honestly does not have a good, he says if the progesterone didn't work, then the Provera is not going to either. But I'll be damned if this isn't going to work. I will be damned. I will take 2 of those and just take it for 5 days if I have to. I'm going to start my period, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm telling you. Anyways, so she said, my coordinator said, my first day of my period, I need to call and schedule my SGH. SHG. Whatever. You get what I mean. That one thing. She's going to schedule that on the first day of my period. Then, after that, after that, she said I need to come in and do blood work and a bunch of stuff somewhere between my 4th and my 12th day of my cycle. So, those are when I'm going to have all the testing done. Then, when I get off my cycle, I'm going to be on birth control for 3 weeks. Yay. So not excited about it. I hate birth control. It makes me blow up, and it makes me moody, and my face breaks out. It's awful. I'm like a little 15-year-old. It's so bad. But whatever. I'm over it. I'm accepting it, and I'm going forward with it. I'm at this point, nothing's going to stop me, endometriosis or not. So, after that, she is thinking we're going to do the egg retrieval around June 13th, 14th, or 15th. Those were her words today. She looked at the calendar while she was talking to me, taking into consideration that I'm going to have to wait to start my period with the Provera, and then have my period, and then be on birth control for 3 weeks. And I explained to her my situation. Obviously, she had it in the folder, but I was like, listen, lady, I've got these problems, and I don't think I can wait till June to get my eggs. And she was like, look, I'm telling you, even if you get it in the next ovary, we can still do the egg retrieval. Now, it's not a good idea to wait, because having an endometrioma in your ovary can damage your eggs. So, no, I don't want you to wait, but also just keep in mind, if it happens, you're not SOL. So, that is pretty much the gist of it. I talked to James today after I got off the phone with the nurse. He's totally on board. And the only problem I see with this, if for some miracle get pregnant on the very first time I do IVF, that baby will be due, not even kidding, the same week we're getting married, next March. Right? So I'm thinking the wedding is going to have to be pushed back a year. Don't know. Or if I give in to everybody else. Because right now, funny story, right now our wedding is on March 10th of 2014, which, if you look at the calendar, is a Monday. And yes, I know it's a Monday, and everybody is giving me shit for it. But March 10th is our anniversary, and I wanted to keep it that same exact day. So I don't know if I want to push the wedding back a whole year, or if I just want to have the wedding like that summer when I get pregnant. If I get pregnant in June, then I could have it in like July or August. But that's a really short notice because half my family is going to have to travel from New York. So maybe I'll have like a November wedding. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work that way. I don't think people would be able to come in that short of time. And it's going to be a decent size wedding. About 150 people. So it's going to be kind of hard to throw that in such a short period of time. And half the people already took their vacations for this year, or already have their vacations planned. So I'm thinking maybe I might have it, like if I give birth in March of next year, then I could still do it in the summer of that year. So I don't know. I really don't know. The wedding is... I don't know. I haven't decided that part, but I do know one thing, that the baby is more important than the wedding. Me and James have been together for 7 years, and most of you who have watched my videos know that. A piece of paper is not going to change anything, and we both desperately want a child, so that is not a game changer just because our wedding would fall on the same week that we would be getting married. Oh well. I guess those save the dates that I just ordered are kind of obsolete now. Anyways, I have been on here for 22 minutes talking about gibberish. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on because it's the first time I've actually had a real update. So, thanks for watching, and I will let you guys know in a couple days how I'm feeling on the Provera. Bye.